Here it comes from the wonderful Bob's Magic Emporium in beautiful sunny Maryland. Bigger and better than ever. Game shows, magic, and a whole lot more coming up on the new Talk is Right. And now, here's your host, the Magic Man of Maryland, Mr. 444RR.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Bob's Magic Emporium. Sit down, everybody. Thank you so much. And sit down for a great 15 minutes of the new Talk is Right, the weekly UCast with game shows, magic, and more. I'm your host, 444RR. And let's give a round of applause to our wonderful announcer, the Zachman18. Woo! Alright, well, we got a lot of great news stories to report on this week. And by the way, I gotta tell you first, before we get started, I am classing up the joint a little bit now. Instead of sitting in a chair, I'm actually sitting in a lovely stool. I'm really going big budget. This is big budget stuff here. All of $10 for this great stool. No, I'm kidding. Alright, well, we got a lot of great stuff to report on this week, so let's get right into it as I lean into my curtains there. Alright. So the first thing I want to talk about is The Price is Right and Twitter Takeover. If you haven't heard about this, you're not following Price is Right at Price is Right on Twitter. You need to be. Because next week, they're having something called Twitter Takeover, February 16th through the 20th. And this is going to be where on Twitter, Price is Right had posted some various questions, such as, would you like to see Drew Carey do an audience entrance at the top of the show or a turntable entrance? Would you like to see how we set up the big wheel or Plinko? Various questions like that. And you got to answer them, and the results will be live on Price is Right that week of the 16th to the 20th. So it's going to be pretty cool to see this. Some of the other questions they asked were the center slot in Plinko, should it be $25,000, or should we make the $100 slots on the ends be worth $10,000? And also, would you like to see where the pricing games are kept or what's behind George Gray's podium? And there were other questions too, but those were some of the questions that I really liked and thought would be cool when you actually get to see the results. So it's going to be kind of cool. And there's a lot of good behind-the-scenes stuff you get to see in this Twitter takeover, so I'm very excited about that. So definitely watch that. Alright, and now Monopoly Millionaires Club. I talked about this show. It's going to star Billy Gardell and Todd Newton as the co-host. The date for the premiere will be pushed back now. It's actually going to premiere on March 28th. I talked about it premiering February 16th and 17th, but they've pushed it back to March 28th now. So I don't know if that means the network doesn't have very good faith in this game show, or if they just, something came up and they have to push it back. I don't know. Alright, and if you were a fan of the Fox reality/game show, The Moment of Truth, I got some good news for you. No, it's not coming back. It's actually the entire series has been uploaded onto YouTube. If you want to go watch it, it's up right now on YouTube, the entire series, including some unaired episodes. So go check it out, The Moment of Truth. You know, I was a little bit of a fan of that show, not a huge fan, but it was all right. You know, it was something that there was nothing else on that night when it was on, so I would turn it on and watch it. And if you didn't see the show, basically what it was is they had some contestant who was willing to take a lie detector test, and then they were strapped into this lie detector machine, and they were asked questions, and then if they answered correctly, they move up the money tree, and if they answered incorrectly, and it was a lie, the game ended immediately. Alright, so next is The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. I love The Tonight Show. I think Jimmy Fallon is great. I love him. He's funny. He's hilarious. And he's so fun to watch. Well, he loves playing games on The Tonight Show, and he plays Pictionary all the time. He plays Family Feud when Steve Harvey's on. This past week, though, he played Password. Yes, Password, like Alan Ludden's Password. He played Password with Ellen DeGeneres and some other celebrities that were on. It's a pretty hilarious video. I recommend going to check it out. It's up on The Tonight Show's YouTube page. Go check it out. Pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny stuff. Alright, and finally, if you're a fan of the GSN reality game show, It Takes a Church, I've got good news for you here too. First of all, if you haven't seen the show, It Takes a Church is a reality game show on GSN where they film in a church and they have one single person and they use the congregation to help that single person get a date. I didn't really watch it, but it looked good from the promos, and it did really well apparently because it's coming back for a second season March 26th. So go check it out. It Takes a Church on GSN. All right, and now let's move on to the Magic-related news. So the Magic news for this week is, I've talked about this for the past like 3 weeks. You gotta watch it. It premiered last week on Sci-Fi. Wizard Wars. If you haven't seen this show, I can't say enough good things about it. It is an awesome show. Two teams of magicians. Two teams of two, use everyday objects to create astonishing, mind-blowing illusions. And Penn and Teller are the judges, as well as Theory 11's Kristen Gerhardt. It's just so much fun. You gotta watch it. And Justin Flom's one of the wizards on there. So much fun. It's on Sci-Fi Thursdays right after WWE SmackDown. I really recommend you watch it because it is so much fun. I love it. Love it. All right. And speaking of Penn and Teller, there was an article for the USA Today on their website where Penn and Teller talk about, well, I guess it's kind of one-sided here. Yes, that was meant to be a joke. Where Penn and Teller talk about how technology has influenced magic. So go check it out. It's up on the USA Today's website. It's a pretty cool video, actually, and it's very interesting to hear their thoughts about technology and magic. All right. And The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, that's a Comedy Central kind of sketch comedy news show, did a story about how China is now the leader in magic. It's a very funny video, and they talk about how China's building a magic city where it's nothing but magic 24/7. Check it out. It's pretty funny. David Copperfield makes a cameo in it. I definitely recommend you checking it out. It got me thinking, though, when I saw the video. I was like, a magic city where it's nothing but magic 24/7? Sign me up. I would love to go live in a magic city. That'd be awesome. Do nothing all day but French drops and finger palms. I love it. I love it. All right. And that's for all you magicians out there. You get that joke. You get the joke of the magic terminology there. All right, and David and Lehman, America's Got Talent stars David and Lehman. They were on the Queen Latifah show, her talk show. They were on this past week, and boy, did they do some mind-blowing magic. Some of it was a little simple stuff, but a lot of it was really cool, and it really freaked out the spectator from the audience, and also Queen Latifah, who was part of the trick. So go check it out. Pretty cool. It's on Queen Latifah's website, the Queen Latifah show's website. And finally, a great YouTube friend of mine, his name's Mark Correa. You might know him as Magic Wands 98. You may also know him from Escaping Parkinson's, where he set the world record for spending the most time in a straight jacket, 12 days straight. Mark Correa really wants to meet Meredith Vieira and be on the Meredith Vieira talk show. Go over to Mark's video, share it on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Go share it because it is a pretty awesome video. Not only you should go share it with Meredith Vieira and your friends and all that, but it's a great magic trick with just a mind-blowing trick. So I recommend going to watch it. It's Mark Correa's Wants to Meet Meredith Vieira video. Go check it out, and please go share it too. I'd love to get Mark Correa on TV. I think that'd be awesome. Let's get that video trending. I would love that. I'm making it my personal mission for this week. Go share that video and let me know if you've done that in the comments below. Put I shared Mark's video so I know. And use the hashtag Mark Correa Meredith Vieira. Use that hashtag Mark Correa Meredith Vieira. Mark Correa Mark Correa wants to meet Meredith Vieira. That should be the hashtag. Let's get that trending. All right. And now we move on to the weird news stories that I've heard throughout the week. So, Edmonton, Oklahoma. This is a great story. A couple was, I guess, looking through their coins and found a Liberty nickel. Now, these were printed in 1913, and there's only 5 of them left in the entire United States. And they took this to get it appraised, apparently, because they wanted to know how much their little coin was worth. They probably took it into a coin shop and was like, hey, it's worth, thinking, oh, it's only going to be worth like $50 or something. When they got it appraised, it's worth an estimated $3 million for this nickel. So it's pretty cool. If you have one of these Liberty nickels, you can maybe make a cool $3 million. So check your nickels at home. It's a Liberty nickel, printed in 1913. All right. So now I want to talk about Ashley Graham. You might be hearing this name a lot on social media. Ashley Graham is to be featured in the next issue of the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit edition, which, a lot of people like that issue, but there's something a little different about Ashley Graham. She is not your regular swimsuit model. She's actually a plus-size model. This is the first time Sports Illustrated has had a plus-size model in their swimsuit edition. And Ashley Graham is quoted saying this, and I quote, "The world is ready for more curves in bikinis." End quote. So congratulations to her for being Sports Illustrated's first plus-size swimsuit model. Congratulations to her. She deserves a round of applause for that. Alright, and now Monopoly. Probably the best board game on the face of the earth, in my opinion. One of my favorites. I love playing it. Is turning 80 years old this year. And Monopoly is doing something that I think is super cool. In 80 of their board games, the 80th anniversary board game edition, in 80 of the games, they're putting real, actual money inside of there. But the catch is, it's not here in the United States, unfortunately. It is in France. In France. So, it's not here, but in France, one game is going to have all the Monopoly money in real cash. Now, there's also going to be the Monopoly money in there to play the game, but it's also going to be all the Monopoly money in the game will also be real-life cash, which is equal to 20,580 euros or $23,600 in U.S. currency. And that's how much cash you get in a Monopoly game. You get $23,600 in a standard Monopoly game, and that's how much you will get in euros if you find one of the one box that has all that cash inside of it. Real cash. It's not fake, it's real cash. 70 of the other boxes, though, are going to have just smaller cash prizes, but still really cool, though. They're going to put cash in these Monopoly boxes. But if you don't live in the in Europe, actually in France, it's okay because you can still buy the 80th anniversary edition at your local toy store or Walmart or Target or whatever, and it's going to be really cool because they're having 8 special tokens that are going to celebrate all the different decades that Monopoly has been around. And you know, something really cool about Monopoly, even though there's been inflation in the world, Monopoly prices are still the same since they've been since 1930s. So it's pretty cool. The values have not gone up for the properties, even though inflation has everything else going up, not Monopoly. Now, that's of course the classic Monopoly. Not these new remixed versions like Monopoly Millionaires, where everything is, you know, you're playing with millions of dollars instead of the regular amount of money. Alright. And finally, this last news story is so cool. Even the most powerful man in the country gets fired. Yep, let me explain. It recently came out in an interview that President Barack Obama said he was fired from a job when he was 15. President Obama was working for Baskin-Robbins, the famous ice cream chain, Baskin-Robbins 31 flavors, and when he was 15 years old, he was fired because he called out sick to go on a date with a girl. This is such a great story. You know, say what you want about politics and about the president, if you like him or you don't like him, whatever. It's such a great story because even the president can be fired from his job, or from his first job, probably his first job ever. So very cool, Mr. President, that actually come out and you can say that, hey, I've been fired from my job. So very cool. That's going to do it for this week's The New Talk is Right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And I'll see you next Friday for another all-new The Talk is Right. We'll see you then. Goodbye, everybody. If you'd like to see more awesome content, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. New videos are posted every day of the week. Also, check out my website and register so you can post in the forums. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, like me on Facebook, add me to your Google Plus circles, and check out my merchandise store to pick up some awesome swag. 444RR, game shows, magic, and more.